Joe Williams is from Politico. He's a writer. Now, I'm a little biased here. I know him a little bit. I think he's a good guy. He was just on our current show, The Young Turks, at 7 o'clock Eastern, just a couple of days ago. But he was on with MSNBC with Martin Bashir, and he said something that Politico thought was out of bounds and have suspended him. So what was it? Let's watch.
It's very interesting that he does so many appearances on Fox and Friends, and it's unscripted. It's the only time they let Mitt off the leash, so to speak. But it also points out a larger problem that he's got to solve if he wants to be successful come this fall. Romney is very, very comfortable, it seems, with people who are like him. That's one of the reasons why he seems so stiff and awkward in some town hall settings, why he can't relate to people other than that. But when he comes on Fox and Friends, they're like him. They're white folks who are very much relaxed in their own company. So it really is a very stark contrast, I think, and a problem that he has not been able to solve to date, and that he's going to have to work harder if he's going to try to compete.
So Politico is supposed to be neutral, and so Joe's analysis of Mitt Romney was spot on, except he said the word white in the context of hanging out with
I don't even know if the analysis was spot on, because the part of his analysis was that he's uncomfortable in town halls because he's around people who are not like him. And I would say that you could make an argument that he's uncomfortable in town halls the way a lot of people were uncomfortable in town halls. Like, you know, the questions are more spontaneous. He's more comfortable in a scripted environment. He's more comfortable not being challenged. He's making a leap that's because the people are white, which actually is, the more I think about it, is a pretty big leap.
No, he's saying in a town hall they might not be white.
I'm saying he's more comfortable around it, because the reason why he's more comfortable, I'm saying, when it's a scripted environment and that he knows the question he's going to get.
I agree with you. I think that the reality is that it doesn't have to do with race nearly as much as it does that he knows that Fox News is friendly territory. So they're going to give him softballs. He's going to knock it out of the park. Whereas when it's in a town hall, they might actually ask a tougher, challenging question, and he would make mistakes like saying, corporations are people, my friend.
Don't you think that if Juan Williams were one of the panelists on Fox, I think Mitt is equally as comfortable? I don't.
Yeah.
So that's why I think.
So I meant his analysis that Mitt Romney is much more comfortable on Fox News as opposed to town hall events was spot on. But I see what you're saying about the other thing. Now, and I didn't think that he had to go racial there. I'm not even sure, as we're saying, that we agree with his racial. So the question, though, is, should he have been suspended for it? Right?
No.
So you think no?
No. He was invited on Martin Bashir's program to share his opinion. His opinions might not be spot on or correct every single time, but that's his opinion, that's what he thinks, and that's what he was sharing. So should Politico suspend him for that? Absolutely not, unless Politico has a policy that specifically states you're not allowed to go on network news and share your opinion.
You know, I've changed my mind a little bit during the course of the day, because I think the comments were really foolish. And I think that it probably, you know, I don't know how it worked backstage at Politico. I would like to think that their first thought was, Joe, you need to apologize, and you need to not talk this way again. Bringing the race into it, I mean, he just essentially said that Mitt Romney is only really truly comfortable around other white people, which is a silly thing to say for a guy at Politico.
How long did it take for his church to allow people that are not white to go to their church?
Mormon church?
The Mormon church, right?
I don't know, like 40, 50 years ago, something like that?
Yeah, no. In 1978.
Yeah, 40 years ago.
Yeah, and Mitt Romney, and
35.
we've talked about this in the past, was mad that Stanford wouldn't play games with his BYU because BYU discriminated against black people. He's like, what's the big deal?
Yeah, that's what I'm
that's
saying,
an old story, right? And it's not in context of this story. And so I don't agree he shouldn't have brought white in. I don't think that he didn't have a basis for making it about race, right? I think he had a basis for making it about Fox News versus town halls, etc.
Him being challenged, he's not, he goes where he's comfortable.
Right. Now, that being said, okay, I disagree with him, but I'm partial to what Anna is saying, so how much are you supposed to be muted about your actual opinions? If that's Joe's actual opinion, and that's part of his analysis, well, okay, so that's why, once again, I'm somewhere between you guys.
I'm just uncomfortable with any organization, whether it be a news organization or something else, censoring what you say. If that's really your belief and you want to share your belief on an opinion show, then that's totally, I think it's fine, unless you have a policy saying don't share your opinions because it'll reflect poorly on Politico.
But Politico gets to say, yeah, share your opinions, share them honestly, share them openly, if you bring some degree of humiliation and embarrassment to Politico, then keep.
But where's the are they
And
really
look,
embarrassed or humiliated? I feel like Politico got attacked by
Yeah, well,
a third party, and as a result, they're like, okay, let us cave to what they're saying.
If that happened, then and there is reason
Well,
to believe.
look, again, the answer's somewhere in the middle. I mean, I'm sure they were attacked by the right wing, and I'm sure that they that their main thing is, I want to be neutral, so that this doesn't seem neutral, so they panicked, and it's about a touchy racial issue, so that made it worse. Look, the bottom line is, if I was his boss, I would think, you know what, hey, Joe, that was probably a little out of bounds. Let's talk it through a little bit, right? And then I'd bring him into the office and we talk about it. If that's your real views, okay, then I would actually encourage him then to write an article about why he thinks that and lay out some evidence, right? And then that would be a valid, and maybe you bring the BYU Stanford story back into it, et cetera.
Yeah.
So I don't think a suspension is the right way to go. It's over the top. It's too much of a reaction. By the way, just so you have some context too, Geraldo Rivera, who works for Fox News, on Fox News, said that Mitt Romney seems like the kind of guy who wouldn't let a Latino into his house. So, and Fox News doesn't discipline Geraldo, but ironically, Joe Williams gets disciplined by Politico.